All right, in this episode, we're going to be talking about asking for what you want in the bedroom. So speaking up, having a voice. Me personally, I feel like I'm in a 10-year relationship, and it's only maybe in the last year or so that I feel like I've unlocked that and been able to move into this next stage. I'm like, we're at the 10 years and we're having the best sex that we've ever had, only because we've been able to actually speak about it and talk about it, or I feel comfortable about it. So I feel like, in my experience, it's challenging, it's hard, and you get offended, you put your guard up, or you block things out, or you just don't even talk about it. But why are we blocking that out? Only because of our own personal, I guess, expectations.
Yeah, even shame.
Shame.
I don't want I don't want them to think that I'm bad in bed.
Yeah, it's that. It's been a perfectionist trying to be the best, and until you block that out, I think this is the biggest thing that I've learned now is as soon as we were able to have a conversation and even just start that conversation about it, it's unlocked so much more and made it so much easier to now normalize conversations about sex. So now we can talk about it every day. We're talking about what do you like, what do you don't, you not like. Yes. And it's then it just makes it so much easier to ask for what you want in the bedroom and unlocks that. Which who doesn't want to have better sex? And I'm is it because we're entering our 30s? Is that a thing? But I feel you actually do have to be comfortable enough with the person to be able to unlock this.
Yeah, you've got to feel safe to be vulnerable. Yeah. Because these conversations are really fucking vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're bearing your heart. Maybe you're sharing something that you feel really nervous to share, like a kink or a fantasy. Maybe you want to share a boundary that could offend your partner or shut them down. Hey, I don't really like it hard and fast. And you could see that they're woohoo, loving it hard and fast. So it's how are they going to react to this?
But if you don't like something, exactly. You don't like something that they're doing, or you like something that they're not doing. Yes. How do you navigate that? How do you even ask for that without upsetting your partner, right?
Totally.
The person.
The best practice that I give to couples is a turn on and off sheet. So get a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, turn on, turn off, and go through the senses. What turns you off through hearing, so playlist, music, your eyes, maybe it's sensual room, smells like candles, incense, taste, touch and feel.
So you separate it from the person, right? Let's just generalize it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And then thoughts and imagination. So you're going through all 5 senses and then add in thoughts and imagination. And then write it all down, both turns on and offs, because your offs are equally as important. You could be really turned off, but something's hitting your brake, and you're oh my God, they're doing all the thing, but the door's unlocked and the kids are home. And you're I can't get turned on. Why can't I get turned on? Yeah. If your partner knows that actually she likes it when the door's closed, when you're getting into it, you've been pushed up against the wall. And the
lights on. I don't want to see
exactly.
Yeah,
it's your partner knows calling it, lock the door, and then we'll get to the, so, and then you share it with one another. And sometimes that's a bit of hot foreplay of oh my God, I didn't know that you loved this.
You knew.
Or that's so good to know that you always want showers before we have sex. I'll make sure that happens for you. So that's a really cool beginner way just to get into that conversation.
Okay, what about if your partner or whoever is doing something that you don't like? What do you do then?
Yeah, so let's go for an example, right? Maybe a guy's going down you and they're going really fast, and you can feel yourself shutting down, being oh my God, this is terrible,
it's horrible,
whatever.
I hate this.
You want to direct the energy instead of just saying can you
Babes.
stop that? Or what the hell are you doing down there?
Stop! Stop! Yeah.
You want to direct them. So it's you also need to be responsible for your pleasure. What do you want then? So it's saying something
that way.
I love it when you go a little bit slower. That really turns me on. Can you give that a go?
Yeah.
Or babe, can we go back to fingers inside? Or you really want to direct the energy. So it's not you're shutting them down, and tell them how good it feels when you want that thing. So it's I love it when you slow down, and when they do, you're going to compliment them or encouragement. It's oh my God, yes, that's it. Yeah. So it straight away kind of distracts the fact that you've changed what they're doing. Yeah. They can't even think about, I was doing it wrong. It's just oh my God, they're loving this.
What if you want to try something that you haven't done before? Or like, how do you like even navigate that? Or I guess like, I feel like a lot of people would probably be thinking like, I really like this, but how do I even bring it up to my partner without them getting angry? Or
Totally.
how do you start those conversations?
Yeah, definitely out of the bedroom and not in the moment.
Yeah.
So even sharing like your kinks and your fantasies, your turn ons and offs, you could even say, hey, I listened to this podcast and they were talking about, I don't know, butt play, or they were talking about like sex in public. What do you think about that? Like, or I'm reading this erotic novel and I'm getting like really fucking turned on around this scene. Can I read it out to you?
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like broaching these conversations in like a way that you invite your partner into your sexual experience.
Yes.
And I think it's so important as well when you're talking about sex and pleasure, understand what you need, want, and desire in the bedroom. Like needs are things that are like fundamental to your sexual experience. So for a lot of women, they need love, respect, and safety, right? They need that emotional connection. They need their hearts opened before their legs are opened.
I 100%
You know, so many women can't come in one night stands because there hasn't been that time to really open her heart and create trust, love, and safety.
Is like me and my partner talk about this, like it's the whole day. Like if you annoy me in the morning, I'm so annoyed at night. Like I need you to be like doing all the things and like it's a day thing for me. Like that turns me on from the get-go rather than is that like a thing?
Totally.
Because it's a thing for me.
100%.
You've got to be.
So it's like, what is the need there?
Yeah.
You know, like go a little bit deeper.
I need us to be connecting on a deeper level. Like that's obviously for me. I can't do it. It's not just like a fuck.
Love it.
I got to be loving you today.
So that's like a need. Needs are things that you cannot have sex or you can't open to the sexual experience without these things. Be that great. Understand what those are. What are your wants? Like wants like, well, I want to have sex in public, or like I want a threesome. You don't necessarily need to have those things to be able to have sex. Your desires, these could be things like kinks and fantasy. Like, I desire to go down on you in the back of a taxi, or like I desire, you know, it's like fun things that it's like,
a little bit more like
and they maybe
dreams.
have a bit more of an emotional connection to it as well, like a bit of a heart. And then boundaries are things that's like a yes, no, or maybe. And those can always change. Like a no doesn't mean it's a no forever. A yes doesn't mean it's a yes forever, you know?
So to sum this all up, if you are someone that is like someone like maybe doesn't talk about it with your partner, you're with a partner or in, you know, like whoever, and you don't use your voice, you don't talk about it, what is the best way to start? Like how do you ease into that? What do you do?
I reckon watching this episode together. You know,
Yeah.
or like inviting your partner to be like, babe,
Like,
are
let's
you
talk
open to talking about
Good
this?
point, yeah.
Or like, I listened to this podcast, can we listen to it together?
Yeah.
Or like,
I've been doing that a lot. Like I've been listening to a lot of sex podcasts, and then I've got Willis listening to them. I'm like, hey, that's my way of like doing that, which is, it is.
because you're doing it together.
It's separating it from you. It's be like,
Exactly.
what are your thoughts on that?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I reckon
okay.
that's the go.
Yeah.
Or if you're feeling courageous, it's like, hey, I feel really nervous, right? Bring in that vulnerability because it
actually
connects
speak
to
about
heart
it.
rather than head, which is like, we need to talk about our sex life.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this anxious, like get into your heart, feel like your empowered, confident self and be like, babe, I really want to have talk about our sex life.
It's about our talk.
And like when's a good time to have this conversation? And like I don't want to correct anything we're doing. I kind of just want to talk about it because we never talk about it. And like I want to love you better. I want to fuck you better. I want to connect with you better.
I want you to have the best sex. Give me the head vibes.
Yes. So it's like your intention. Get really clear on that and then share that. Okay, so to wrap this up, let's just start with the beginners. Get your piece of paper out. Invite your partner into a conversation. Watch this episode together, and that will give you a starting point.
Do you know what I actually find that helps us is like having a few drinks. Because we're more relaxed. Like we do fun things. You know, and you explore, you try new things. Like if that, like obviously everyone's different, but for us it was like, let's have a few drinks and feel a little bit more relaxed. So we can do like this little activity. Okay, we've got a game here. Like let's do this, or we can, you know, I like to loosen up. I don't know if that's the thing, but it's my little bit of advice.
Love it.
Yeah.